dropped in to the near post.
I don't know.
That's a crane style. Anyways.
Boys, we're always talking about like relegation,
Top
championship.
six.
Let's focus on, you get me, the other tangibles of the league, you know? Who's hitting Europa? The race for the top 5, 6.
You mean the race for 6th or 5th? Because it's not really a race for the top 6. And you have to start from 1.
5th or 6th.
But I mean, at the moment, obviously Liverpool have found their feet a little bit. Spurs and Newcastle are vying for top 4, as are Liverpool, I'm sure as well. But the teams that you're probably more interested in is probably like Fulham, Brighton,
Fulham, and them, man.
Yeah, Brighton and Brentford.
Let's hone in on them. Brighton, Fulham, and Brentford especially. Brentford especially.
Big team.
I mean, Thomas Frank is fantastic. I just hope that the same thing that's happened in Graham Potter doesn't happen to him.
You reckon he goes Spurs?
I'm gonna reiterate what I just said. I hope
That's not
that he doesn't make a move to somewhere. No, but what I'm saying,
Spurs in a big club.
okay,
No.
take me back.
3-point lane.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Thomas Frank.
yeah, Thomas. I mean, Thomas. No, it's true. Sorry, it was right there. I had to do it. It was right there. It was right there. Shout out to my girlfriend. She would have loved that. So yeah, yeah, no, I don't think that's a move he should make quickly.
Okay.
I think there'll be other opportunities, you know, and at other clubs that probably will kind of give him more of what he probably will need going forward. I think Spurs in a very weird transition phase right now, so I don't think that'd be a good move for him. But what he's doing at Brentford kind of dictates that the next time a big job or a decent enough big job comes along, he'll probably be the name that's.
So do you think Thomas Frank is the type of manager that can deal with players of that ilk, of that caliber that he has at Brentford?
Done it already.
Or by the time he gets to like a bigger club, let's say, and he gets the bigger move, and he's dealing with your
Bigger
Enzos
egos.
or your whatever the case may be, that he may not thrive at that level?
Done it already though. He had Ericsson at Brentford, big Ericsson. I mean, I know he came back from the dead, but he had Ericsson there. Ericsson is probably the biggest player Brentford have ever had on their books.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ericsson is extremely humble though.
But it
isn't
was
he?
easy. It's easy for a big man like that to go into a club like that and think it's all about me.
No, but I'm saying
Not
his
in this
natural
situation.
energy is he's very humble.
He's a very
like
humble
it's
person, but I'm saying it's very easy.
yeah, no,
to fall
of course.
into that, especially
Of
when you're the big fish in a small pond. Remember, Brentford Stadium's like what 13K. Like they're not a big club. They're not a team full of experienced international. Then again, everyone's got teams internationals, but
Yeah, now they do,
hopefully you understand what I mean when I say that. So it would be easy for Ericsson to go in there with a big ego and be like, I don't need to be here.
Is he dealing with the likes of, all right, let's take Bruno Fernandes, for example?
No.
Bruno
Not
can't
right
deal
now.
with Bruno, bro.
Okay.
I think you have to. Here's the problem. Again, I always say pressures change because you're expected to win every week or whatever the case may be. There is a caveat to the fact that that's not the expectation that these clubs that we just mentioned, and that the fact that they are overachieving by their own standards this season. But that's not to say that the managers are not good or they don't have great tactical ideas and things of that nature. They're not getting the best out of the players they have.
Yeah.
But when you do move to, as Potter has found out, and maybe he's kind of turned the corner now, but as he's found out, maybe in the worst situation possible, because they've spent 600 or 500 million on players. How do you now navigate that? Now that's nuts. I don't think Thomas Frank or any other manager is going to fall into that same place.
Steve Keeper can do it. He can do it.
But
Keeper can do it. He can do it. Bro.
But I do think that it's a different pressure, and for someone like Thomas Frank or Marco Silva, who was at a bigger stage than Fulham before, and what's his name?
Bobby.
No, at Brighton. I forgot his name.
De
Zerbi. Yeah.
De Zerbi.
You know, it's an interesting step. I think where they are right now, they should continue to do what they're doing at least for another season or two. Reason being is because if you do end up getting a job in the top 6 teams, it literally the only place right now that I can see you going 2 places, Newcastle or Spurs.
You don't need to talk about Brighton nicely, bruv.
No. He's doing a fantastic job there.
Brighton
I'm saying
Brighton
like
are a top 6 team, B.
What, as in solidified?
Bro, they've got 3 games in hand, right? And they're level on points with Liverpool, I think, which is like 42 points, yeah? 42 points, I think, is... I think
Can we
is
fact
that
check?
5 or 4 off? Is that 5 or 4 off Spurs? And they've got 3 games in hand. Talk to Brighton, nice, bruv. Talk to Brighton, nice.
I think for me, okay, so Brighton is 7th, 42 points, like you said, equal with Liverpool.
Yeah, how many off Spurs?
1 game in hand.
No, Brighton are on. They've got at least.
No,
3.
look, 1 game in hand.
Yeah, Arsenal played 28.
No, I'm talking about on the people they're chasing, not the guys.
I just mean in terms of the
they're
league,
not catching
sorry.
Arsenal.
No, but I meant in terms of the league.
Yeah, like
How many points are they behind Spurs?
no, that's 5.
Yeah, but talk to Brighton, nice.
No, but well, no more than 5. Sorry, but yeah, no, I think.
Yeah, but I hear it though. I think. Obviously, with the thing about the league is that expectations will slide dependent on the space that you're, and people's opinions and whatever's will shift with that, and behaviors will shift with that. So you've had a Caicedo who was like, I want an opportunity to go to a big team, and of course Arsenal are a massive team in comparison to Brighton. But if Brighton get to where they stay on their trajectory, really and truly, do we see Brighton being a soft touch and disappearing anytime soon? Probably not.
But you know what it is, and I do hear that. But then here's the problem with a lot of with this. Let's say all 3 of them, Brighton, Fulham, and Brentford, all got European football, Conference and Europa League, right? The season changes dramatically at that point now, because now you're playing in the week. You're playing every 3 days, so on and so forth.
The
squads have to get bigger.
The depth.
Yeah, the squads have to get bigger. The managers have to start to manage those things.
Recruitment and depth is going to be a problem.
And I think that if and that's the expectation at the bigger clubs. So
I'm not sure of Thomas Frank's past, but I do know certainly for De Zerbi, he's just come from Shakhtar, so he's used to playing that.
Yeah, but
even though their league's different.
Yeah, but
times,
levels. I mean,
and they
remember,
pause for Champions League and
Pause for other stuff too.
yeah.
Remember, they gotta.
Brighton.
I'm not involved. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm not involved.
I'm just saying they had a couple pauses, innit?
Anyway,
Couple pauses.
at this particular stage, you got to look at if he's because it's not like you're going back into the Premier League. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going back into the Premier League, so you're going to play. I don't know.
Intrusive thoughts are beating my ass right now.
It's like imagine it's like, all right, cool, you play, I don't know, name a Europa League club. Let's say you play Sevilla in your group game, right? And then on Sunday, you play on Thursday, so then Sunday you're playing Chelsea. That same energy you have for Chelsea now, where you're causing them problems, all 3 teams I'm speaking about, it's not going to be the same energy that you're going to Stamford Bridge now.
Depending on recruitment.
Yeah, but okay. Depending on recruitment, yes. But again, there's
And we know Brighton recruit very well.
No, I know, but there's betting in.
Yeah.
There's managing players' playing time and things of this nature. Players who you already have who, people like Ivan Toney's albeit that he doesn't get banned or whatever the case may be. He could be a big mover. He could be a big.
He's made out.
Yeah.
England squad.
He could be made as a big move this summer for him more than the club that buys him, right? There's a lot of players in these teams that the bigger teams are going to scope and say, "Ooh, he can play a role in this team," and so on and so forth. So,
But that's the problem though with the league. The league's the best it's ever been at the moment because you got Dons in 18th that could start for a top 6 club, and I think part of the main reason for that is that everybody's got bread now. So a lot of us, despite us saying the top teams can scoop up this man and that man, some of these men might not move because the reality is, you look at Tony. If Brentford finish 6th or 7th and they get into Europa Conference League, if you're Ivan Toney, are you really saying, bun it, I'm going to go to Spurs now because I want to test myself in the Champions League, even though I'm not guaranteed to start?
But maybe
or
not
I could start at
if they
Brentford
get there.
and play in Europe.
but maybe not
week in,
there.
week out.
But maybe not there though. But then also there's no Arsenal could buy Tony,
No, of
And why
course.
not?
And obviously, the decision changes depending on the club.
and
interest.
United could buy. So that's
But
my
point,
argument.
my point is the fact that there's even an argument now for a player to say, I might just stay and play Europe with Brentford, or I might just stay and play Europe with West Ham, or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the
That's
players.
never been the case before.
Yeah.
But I think that depends on the player's ambition as well, because in one stage, you're right. I'm already in some level of European football. There's no need for me to uproot my family, X, Y, Z. I can stay here and do.
And I'm
do what
playing
doing.
week in, week out. If I'm
Guaranteed to
But
start.
then there's
the thing is,
always
you're cutting your teeth at that level to then go, all right, boom, I can cut at Champions League level. Who's signing me up? And then you get the big move you really deserve, rather than you come in.
True.
He's a good player at that team. Come here, buy him and just put him on the bench for 6
But
weeks.
the allure,
Like a
the allure.
Richarlison.
No, but you're right. But the allure of, let's say, using Ivan Toney, the allure of Manchester United in the summer said we need another striker on our books. We've gotten rid of Weghorst has gone back to where he's going back to. We bought a striker for big money, but we need to change a difference.
Yeah, that's always gonna.
The allure is like, well, it's Manchester United. I'm never gonna get an opportunity like this ever again in my life.
And I could probably do better than Weghorst.
And this is it. And
we know what Tony's characters.
Yeah, and it's the same thing that if you're looking at if Arsenal come, okay, cool. Gary Jesus has got an injury record. It's Arsenal. They just probably won the Premier League. Why wouldn't I go there? I'll never get this opportunity again. And if I don't, I'll kick myself if I don't. I could play Europa League football, but I could also go play Champions League football.
And effectively looking at it, he's the jewel in their crown, in Brentford's crown, because then if you take away Tony from Brentford,
I think they're still techie.
It could go two ways.
I think they're still techie.
Bolo, Wissa.
It could go two ways.
I think they're still
because you could look at things like you could look at the Jamie Vardy story, where he could have gone to Arsenal, but he didn't really want to play backup or whatever it was. And Leicester did look like a good prospect at the time. Leicester are bottom of they're propping up the table at the moment. And obviously they're not rock bottom, but
they're not where he would have
they've spent the majority of the season down there. And obviously
and if you ask him today, Jamie,
he's not really starting anymore. He's 35.
Yeah.
But in the tenure that he's been at Leicester, all he's had to really show for it is a FA Cup. So I do get the sentiment. No, but he won the Prem. We wanted to buy him after that Prem.
Okay,
yeah, we wanted to sign him.
Oh, you mean? Oh, yeah. Since
when Arsenal wanted to sign him, it was since he won the Prem.
So what he's effectively saying, he hasn't kicked on to anything.
He hasn't done anything really of note since then. So I think
he could argue neither as Arsenal.
But that would be a cautionary tale to anybody that is going to.
I see what you're saying.
That move, do you get what I'm saying?
Because I think the Arsenal
it didn't come again.
Yeah, that move's not coming.
It didn't come again.
The Arsenal thing, he could probably turn around and say, well, Arsenal didn't kick on, so maybe I'm vindicated.
But Arsenal did win cups.
But he's not vindicated because, again, there's
a
huge... You're not vindicated in that because if there's a huge difference between playing for Leicester and playing for Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah.
So the fact is that there's a prestige that comes to playing for both clubs, of course. But if you're in that position, you want to play for Arsenal Football Club. Yeah. I can understand his argument, but it was to his detriment. Again, age plays a part in this because when he finally bust on the scene... He was already damn near his 30s.
Pause that.
This guy. He's damn near his 30s already.
Pause that.
So, this guy, bro.
Pause that.
So, yeah, I don't think that you could effectively say that, like, oh, you saying that Arsenal kicked on. It's Arsenal Football Club. Doesn't matter.
So, all right, Tony leaves. You still think they're...
I still think, yeah, because the football, I don't think the football's built around him.
Nah, I agree. I don't think it's
even when he's out. Yeah, they have shown that when he's out of the side, that
the football's not built around him.
So it's not predicated on Tony playing.
Yeah, so I think they'll be fine. But I'm not again, Brentford fans. Sorry, I'm not saying Tony's going to leave. But just as an example, what's the guy at Brighton? The what's his name?
What, the striker?
No, he's a winger.
Matoma.
Matoma.
Yeah, we're gonna get to Brighton.
Like when you look at him.
Yeah.
Like I read today, he's linked with Arsenal, United, all these teams.
He's gone, fam.
If I'm him, no, but if I'm him,
Brighton fans, yo,
he's gone, fam.
Matoma's cold,
Nah, but
if Salcedo stays and signs a new deal.
I don't want him to be another Michu.
He did the he signed an extension.
Man were telling me Michu should go.
But even still, like, is he moving this summer? We don't know.
Michu was cold, bro.
For a season, nah, I'm not.
Michu was cold though.
Yeah, but once that's like when people tell me about Pape Cisse, and I'm just like, bro, come on.
Pape Cisse was sick for half a season.
Yeah, for like 6 months, and then it was
3 months.
dead food.
He came in January, did some juju against Chelsea, and everyone said, yeah, cold.
It's one of the coldest goals I've ever seen.
When Newcastle had the temptation playing up front. And then obviously they got disbanded. Bar went to Chelsea, and Mourinho said he couldn't come to Arsenal, pagan. And then, yeah, man.
So yeah, no, I think when you look at the three sides, Fulham the other day capitulated, but they've been.
Again, we talk about signings and squad depth. They've made some astute signings.
Yeah, Paulinho. Yeah. I think even
Pereira.
Pereira coming from where he's come from.
Pereira reborn out of nowhere.
AP, Willian, Maino, Solomon. Kenny Tete has been my shout.
Tete's been great.
Tete was about 3 million. I didn't know Tete was so young. I thought Tete was like 30. Tete's 27.
I want to go back to a game where Tete, I think it was Fulham versus Chelsea.
Yeah.
And Tete just locked up whenever they put it outside.
It was with Chelsea or City where he locked up. They kept bringing on a new winger and he was just thinking.
Just locking them up, bro.
It was
Chelsea. He just locked them up. I think it's not with Mudryk.
Yeah.
And then they brought locked them up.
Did them.
Player.
And I think at the end of the day, when you look at things like that, like the managers deserve a round of applause. They're definitely getting the best out of those players.
They bought well. They bought Leno.
Yeah.
He's got
But this is again profile. It always, and this is something I was going to say earlier in our Kane debate, and it just not Kane per se, but just in any transfer profile of player, attitude, temperament, all these type of things that go into it. Those managers are getting it right, and not only they're getting it right, but they're bringing in players they know that they can mold, they can push into certain positions. You said something a couple weeks ago on one of the episodes where you said about players who. Being like Swiss Army knives and the managers having the ability like Potter had at Brentford to play a March or whoever in different roles, different positions, and then being at Chelsea and have more specialist players. That's another thing that's such a big adjustment for a manager who's used to saying, who can't tell Mudryk go play left wing back. You know what I'm saying? But he could tell Jesse March to go play left wing back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
Jesse
I just
March,
think...
you mean Solly March.
Solly March, yeah, sorry.
That's how we call Jesse March, Young Lampard.
Yank.
Yeah, Young Lampard.
It's one of yours, mate.
Nah. He's probably Canadian. Oops. Anyway, so yeah, no, I just
you're gonna have them Alphonso Davies fans in us.
I'm not on that war. You keep that over that part of the world. I'm not on that war.
But yeah, no, I think they've all done extremely well. The next step is the next step. But it just depends on where that is. And they have to be very cautious because again, you won't find another situation like Graham Potter's. It's impossible.
I don't agree.
You don't think? I'm saying like buying all those players and I don't think you're gonna find that again.
I mean, we've seen it twice in one season. Look at Steve Cooper.
No,
He's got 33 man.
But what I'm saying,
33 man.
What I'm saying is
Might
like
not be of the same quality, but
no. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like
same thing.
Because the pressures are
varying
different.
qualities.
I mean, let's be fair.
I saw Forest versus Newcastle the other day, and I saw Felipe and Trippier spud. And I was like, "Fuck, these men used to play together." I was like, "What?" Proper Renan Lodi and all that. I'm thinking. Then it dawned on me. Hold on a minute. Nottingham Forest just came from their Prem and have Keylor Navas,
Felipe,
and Renan Lodi, Serge Aurier, and all that. Mario, not Mario Lemina. All of these man in their team. Jesse Lingard. It's like what?
You know who I was happy for?
It's like a ultimate team nightmare.
You know what I was happy for? John Joe Shelby. I'm happy to see him kicking ball again, man.
Fuck that.
Nah, man.
They've been calling him chemotherapy Cruz.
Nah, leave him.
That's what they've been calling him on football.
I can't.
Jesus Christ.
That's what they call him on Twitter. Chemotherapy Cruz. Chemo Cruz. You don't know that?
He's just gonna keep repeating it.
You don't know that?
Of course, RB.
You know what I'm saying?
Is course RB's views alone.
Get me?
You don't know that?
Courtney, you don't have to repeat it, man.
I mean, it's
not good.
It's better than me calling him Voldemort.
I'd rather Voldemort.
Yeah.
I'd rather you call him Voldemort than call him that. That's crazy.
I didn't come up with it.
Yeah,
that's what they call him on the
harm to anybody that's suffering from cancer.
I'm just saying, that's what they call him on the streets. Nah, if you don't think I'm bad, you lot wouldn't survive on the internet, man.
Nah, I'm good on the internet. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't have said it.
That's what they've been calling him. Football banter names are the best thing. That's what they've been
that
calling.
Is not
They've been calling Salah Ramadan Robin.
Oh my God.
What? It makes sense.
They're gonna get cancelled.
They're hilarious. I think they're hilarious names.
The views, of course, RB.
We are going to get cancelled.
They were calling Kai.
Stop!
Shy.
We don't know no more. We don't want to know. Turn on his mic. Yeah, he's done that in now. He's done. No. Stop! It was the wrong one.
You gotta be in city. Shy Havertz.
No.
I've been calling Mudryk Malfoy all week.
No, that's fine though.
It's better.
But chemo, nah, bro. Come on, man.
Brother, it's
I'm not even gonna repeat
chemo's
that.
not a condition.
It's not the point. It's not the fucking point. We know what condition it leads to. It's not the fucking point.
What it tries to heal. Yeah.
It's not.
But anyway,
you lot too sensitive for the internet.
So Marco Silva. He's brought in Palhinha, Andres Pereira, Willian.
No, he's doing well, but again, the other day he lost his head, man. I just
Nah,
felt
that's
like,
isolated, man. He was
no. It is
He was
isolated.
pissed off.
It is isolated, but
Don't
again,
blame him.
it's very important.
That was wild, though.
He was pissed off.
Well, you know what? Honestly, that's down to the quality of refereeing.
Is that Mitrovic's first red card as well?
This season,
yeah.
He used to get a bag of them for Newcastle.
Yeah. I'm not like his temperament's got better, but even that in itself is mad. Because when you see your manager doing that, it now gives you the right to be like,
I don't even think it's that. I just think them man are generally just pissed off because I'm not being funny. It's two things. You watch Arsenal put on a clinic at Crystal Palace and then you have to go and play United. You don't feel good already. Then you go and watch Bruno play out for you go and watch Bruno play out for 70 minutes. Piss you off. Then you see a penalty. I mean, you've dominated the game for 70 minutes.
You know what bothers me? Not to really talk about the whole situation, but it's just like
it's an emotional sport.
He should know better.
It's a national sport.
It's
Though.
Marcus Silva.
Yeah, he should know that.
It's a sport of a passion, though. Like,
Yeah, no, I mean, you can't. Sometimes
they're
you can't
human. They're
I mean,
human.
I just felt sorry for Luis Belamonte because his face was so like, no.
Nah, watching him carry off Mitrovic is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
But nah,
two
Fulham-
wedge man. It's just like who wins there.
Yeah, nah. Fulham have done extremely well. The players they bought have been extremely good.
Willian's had a throwback season.
Yeah, Willian and Pereira for me have been the two that I'm like,
when he
wow.
cut in.
Dickadova Reed as well. I really like the way
Yeah,
he's come on.
a good player.
Yeah, he's
and he's
really
been
done
moved
his-
about.
Yeah.
He's playing right back for a period of time.
He's
Good little player.
He's decent.
Big up the Jamaicans.
Okay, that's why he did that. Okay, that's why he did that.
They're called over
All right.
Reed, B.
So let's talk about Brighton before we.
Tim Ream as well. Sorry. Big up Tim Ream.
Yeah, Tim Reed.
Tim Ream's living off that fact that Pep said if you were younger, I'd have bought him.
Yeah,
He grew a ponytail.
But he's playing to that though.
Grew a
He's doing
ponytail
very
and he's
well.
been on-
American,
he's been on
so I'm
banner.
Nah, is he not doing well?
I'm not taking your view.
He's been on
Is he
madness.
not doing well?
I'm not taking your view.
Is he not? No. Okay, whether it's English or any from anywhere else, is he not playing well?
At the moment?
Big up
He's
Tim
two.
Ream. Wasn't he at Bolton?
Tim Ream is just.
Wasn't he at Bolton at
been
one point?
here for a
Did I
minute.
ask you if
Wasn't
he was
he at
Or did I
Bolton?
ask you if he's playing well?
Yeah, he's playing well.
Wasn't
Okay.
he at Bolton? Football heritage.
Very well.
Heritage.
De Zerbi, Brighton, with their
Just
Continental
continued,
manager,
man. Just continue.
their continuous well of talent
That Evan Ferguson.
out of nowhere.
I don't know if
Robbie
it's like they heard me
Keane
say. It's like I said.
McAllister's
They
my
ain't got
guy, bro.
strikers.
Yeah.
And then they said,
Yeah.
hold that. What's this?
We got Welbeck, but don't worry, we've got someone named
Evan Ferguson. He looks cold. He looks
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the truth. But I'm gonna keep a close eye on him because they can't fool me. I've seen that trick before.
I think he's just continued and bettered what Potter was doing. I think he's not.
Do you think he was fortunate that he picked up a team that was already well run and well drilled?
I think maybe dig a little deeper than that. I think he picked up
Yeah,
a
I
team.
think that's like disservice.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I think honestly he picked up a team that fit his mold. Let's say that.
They were just in. Yeah, they fit his principles.
They fit his principles, and it's easy to walk in when you don't have to teach.
But then again, that could be the fact that Brighton have said this manager actually suits.
No,
the
great
principles
profiling.
of the-
Great
I
profiling.
was listening to another podcast, A Beautiful Game. They had Paul Barber on. He was talking about that whole situation with like how they went from Potter to De Zerbi, and they were talking about what the difference is. And he made a point where it's like it's obvious, but until someone says it, it's not obvious. And it's like he doesn't tinker as much as Potter does. So in the way that Brighton's team would switch formations 15, 16 times in a game, De Zerbi's don't necessarily do that as much, but the way they kick ball is so relentless. Like it suits the squad. You look at guys like Solly March who didn't score
Having
for
the best season
4
of his
years.
life, yeah.
He's now bagged like six
bagged.
this
He's
season,
bagged, yeah.
and they've been all different kinds of goals. You're getting performances from players that remember Brighton technically have gotten weaker. Technically, they've lost certain players like Dan Burn. They've
We're
lost.
gonna list the amount of all the Brighton signings. We've got it scrolling
Yeah.
across here.
They've-
All the
they've-
players
they've-
they've lost since Kukurea.
Yeah, they've lost players, but they have somehow gotten better as a unit. And it's crazy that they lost Kukurea and put in Pavlis Estupiñán from Villarreal, I believe.
Yeah.
And he looks like, it's like, raw. Like, how long has this brother been playing in the Brentford? He looks cold. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I feel like with De Zerbi and Brighton, they almost had an affinity towards each other because De Zerbi is a bit of a crackpot in terms of some of his tactical ideas. Like he's new in it. He's a bit crazy. But Brighton as a club are just as crazy in the sense that they're both very like innovative. They are willing to try things. They are willing to do things differently to a lot of clubs, and I think that's quite brave of them. And ultimately, they've come from a team that, you know, they've been in the Prem now for how many seasons on the trot. They don't seem to look like they're going anywhere, and they've actually gone from strength to strength to the point of they wanted to get in and just be comfortable to mid-table to now we're threatening the top half of the sides, and it's crazy.
It's true, especially off the fact that we're looking at Kukurea, Basuma,
Season before they lost Ben White.
White.
Tariq Lamptey doesn't even play as much anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Like,
it's crazy.
Big.
They've lost
signings.
Trossard this season,
recently. Which they didn't seem to care.
Yeah, and he was even saying it's easy to let them players go because it's almost why didn't it sell Caicedo? And he's like, listen, like it's easy to let players go when you know you've got the next one coming.
Yeah,
kind of thing. So like they let Basuma go because they had Caicedo already.
Yeah.
He went on loan and they said, yeah, he's ready to play now.
Lost Mwepu.
Yeah, unfortunately, big up Mwepu. You know, he was a big part, and they haven't missed a beat. Do you know what I mean? So it's scary.
It speaks to
scary recruitment.
It speaks to the spirit of the dressing room, the spirit of the squad, the manager, obviously profiling the right man to come in and take over what Potter was doing. I don't think they were really too worried about Potter leaving either.
Is it sustainable though?
Not when you add European football in. I think every team has that one season where all of a sudden, when you're like, again, playing Thursday.
Like West Ham last season.
Yeah, it's playing Thursday, Sunday is difficult. I've watched United do it this year.
But why is Thursday, Sunday so much more difficult than Wednesday, Saturday?
So it's not.
Is there an actual reason?
No, it's not an actual reason. But what I'm saying is like all these things come down to depth in your squad, right? Certain teams who can handle that, certain teams who cannot. Brighton have a top first 11 and maybe 3 or 4 players behind that who can fill in certain spots, right? When you have to then go and buy players in the summer, and you're
That's what we think.
No,
because they continuously keep
right.
But
think
guys.
about think about this. But think about it from this perspective.
Pop goes to win.
But think about it from this perspective, right? If you're Brighton or Brentford or Fulham and you now play Europa League football, right? It's not necessarily the days. It's buying players.
Clocking up minutes. Yeah.
Exactly. They're all clocking more miles now because they weren't clocking those miles last season. They played one game and they're playing a cup or whatever, right? Now you're playing Europa League and you're playing every 3 or 4 days, whatever the case may be. And then on top of that, even when you go into the summer and you're like, oh, I want to get some new players in. There are teams now who know you're in the Europa League or you're in,
Yeah, you got bread.
You must have some bread. So now the price is going to go up. So now you're paying a certain premium for certain players and so on and so forth. Unless you're just unearthing them from your youth setup or what have you. But not every team has that.
That's true, but that's why we're talking about the recruitment being scary because, all right, they signed Caicedo for 4 million. Be it all that United was also looking at Caicedo at that time. They signed him from the depths of South America.
This is what I'm trying to say. If Caicedo don't work out, Brian can take that risk. United can afford that risk.
But Brian can still take that risk even if they go into the Europa League.
Not even United can afford to.
Yeah, but
that Brighton can afford the playing time to these players. So they can say to these man, come here for 3 or 4 million. You're going to play. There's a pathway here. We know what you're doing. With United, they can see him and go, yeah, he's good, but they're not going to put the resource into making that player a first team player because they don't have to.
But with Brighton's, so to further that, where Brighton has the advantage, because their recruitment's been so scary, as we say, as in a good way, that all they would need to do is sign 3 or 4 guys, 5 guys to say, all right, this is our Europa League side, and we still continue doing.
Let me ask you this question. You say sign 3 or 4 guys, but can you even sign Salcedo again at that point? Because then, I'm not saying Salcedo's not good, he is, but at some point you're in the Europa League now. So what's the next step from there? Is the players you sign have to be better? The players you have to sign have to be proven straight away. They can't be these chances. You can probably take a chance on 2, but not
why
the whole 5.
Recruitment is so scary because these guys have taken to the Prem like duck to water.
Again, but you're not.
We're seeing that, and a lot of these man, they had like McAllister didn't just come out of nowhere and start playing Prem. The way Brighton do their pathway, these players are playing elsewhere. In the meantime, so while we're all looking at a guy like Pascal Gross, McAllister's mashing work in Belgium. Do you get it? And with the view to coming in next season. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, with Brighton, I think what you're saying as well, like it works. Can it work forever? Because eventually, people are going to just say, if we can't beat them, join them. It's like what Madrid have done after losing Neymar. They said, all right, cool. Any Brazilian talent that comes out of Brazil,
we're going to get them straight away.
We're clapping it. So now it's going to be a situation where Brighton might see themselves finding more competition for these younger talents, for these younger diamonds, because man are going, what, Brighton want him? Like you put someone with Burley's mentality, you might want him, yeah? Give me 2.
But yeah, when you start to look at it from the other side, now you're looking at like Courtney said, to echo his point, it's not like Brighton has this talent pool that no one else knows about. It's just you're allowed to shop there right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're allowed to shop there right now.
The man that are in JD Sports right now.
You're at the thrift store. That's okay.
It's true because
until the thrift store's popping and it's got Babe and Nape and shit, and then now we're coming. You know what I mean?
Courts made a good point because it's like if Bowley's seeing, because we know what he's
Bowley plays the greatest game of don't let me see it. Yeah, like he literally plays the greatest game of don't let me see it. Like and now you're linked, now deep it. Now you've taken a manager who knew that setup at Brighton and you've brought him over to Chelsea. Now he might be aiming at some of these players as well.
Maybe David Fofana was someone that Brighton was looking at.
Maybe. But again, this is about
turned out Evan Ferguson.
This is the thing is in football it's kind of hard to unearth diamonds now that nobody knew about beforehand.
Yeah, the football scouting networks are so big.
And now you don't even need to go to the country anymore.
From time a man can scout guys on Football Manager. Pick up my guys that play Football Manager like me. From time you can scout guys on Football Manager. Like there is genuinely no player in the world that no one. Look at Martinelli. We got him for 4th in Brazil. but he had a child at Manchester United.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no player in world football that people don't know about. I just think it's about the thing with players is that every player develops differently in different environments. So, you know, if Martinelli was at United right now, we don't know what we'd see Martinelli as he is right now.
We didn't even know if we would
United
seen
didn't
him.
want to take that. Yeah, exactly. United didn't want to take that. They didn't want to take that. Arsenal did. Same with Caicedo. If United picked up Caicedo, how do we know he wouldn't be behind McTominay at the moment?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Rather than seeing him.
Does he develop?
Does he develop into
Yeah.
Caicedo? Because, I mean, I'm not being funny. And I think, you know, like, we could take the Pogba tale. A man sat there and saw Fabio playing in the midfield and said, nah, fuck this, I'm out. And then went to Juve and became a superstar. Do you know what I mean? So I think with the top clubs, to a degree, they're content to maybe let Brighton have these kind of gems. Brentford have these gems for now. You know, your Norgards, your Jenses and all these, man. Let them stay there for
It's
now.
like,
the
what's the
minute
kid's name?
it starts getting a bit too far, you're going to start seeing them clubs move for those players.
What's that kid's name? Plays at Brentford. He didn't really play now though. Damsgaard.
Yeah,
He burst on the scene in the Euros.
Yeah.
And then he's
Scored
gone to
a worldie.
Brentford. He's anonymous now. I'm not saying he's not a talented footballer.
There could
I'm
be a
just
plan
saying
there.
he's-
There could be a plan there.
There could be a plan there. But again, he's not doing it right now. He's not playing week in,
But
week
he's been
out.
snapped up for a pinch.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
But you're not. But that's what I'm saying. Like right now, you're being allowed to shop in those areas because those bigger clubs are going to look at it and say, "You take the chance. We'll take him in a year's time."
Who finishes highest out of the three of them?
Right now,
Who's what?
Finishes highest, Brentford, Brighton, or Fulham?
It's Brighton, easy. In terms of player quality, Brighton have the most at the moment.
I want to go Fulham. I want to go.
I like Fulham's my
Even though
second.
you've got
Fulham's
a
my
bet
second team.
of Mitrovic not scoring 15 goals.
He's already judged him.
Mitrovic is going to miss 10 games.
He's gonna miss
now.
10
I don't
games.
give a damn.
He got a red card. He's right before, no?
No, but the FA charged him further.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's gonna miss like 5 or 6.
They're gonna throw the book at him.
Yeah, so that's curtains for that, bro.
Because he Jake's right. But didn't I say it? Because do you remember before we had the bet, Mitrovic scored every week.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, injury. And now the one game that they play United in, he's lost his head completely. I don't know, man. I'm not saying it's a coincidence.
I know a guy.
You know a guy.
No, but you know what it is? Honestly, I made that bet just based on the fact that I felt like Fulham actually surprised me.
He's been burying hyenas, bro. He's a hyena under the studio, bro.
Nah, Fulham.
Chicken foot.
Chicken foot.
Rabbit fit's probably in my jacket pocket right now. Or something, bro. Not for me.
But yeah, no, Fulham actually surprised me. I made that bet thinking they're not going to get anywhere close to yo-yo. Because previous,
And
they
they're
go
3
up, they go
points behind
down.
Liverpool.
Yeah, so they surprised me.
Fair.
Dude, was I sitting there hoping that he wouldn't have scored? No. At the end of the day, well done to you guys. It just so happens to coincide with the idea that he's kind of been either injured or it's not working out from in front of goal at the moment. I mean, that doesn't mean that
he couldn't do it in the Prem.
I don't know how many games he's gonna miss at this particular moment. I want to say
Bro,
Fulham, but
they're
I
throwing
think
the book at him, bro.
I think without him, at least causing a mischief up front.
No, but they still play without him.
No, I know, but I think he adds something.
He adds something to them, but
Yeah, I think he adds a
they've been
different
finding
Vinicius-
they've been
Vinicius in it,
they've been finding ways to win without him.
I have to go Brighton as well. I want to say Brentford. I would love to say Brentford. I just think that their results as of late have been a little bit up and down.
All right, they soon beat you 4-0 again.
Hey!
On that note,
I'm
I
joking.
love that.
I'm
I love
joking,
that.
I'm
I
joking.
love
Big up
that.
Thomas
this
Frank.
has been the Near Post Podcast.
Yeah, shout out to all the Brighton, Fulham, and Brentford fans for sure.
Definitely.
I remember that video, that viral video. Sarah, what's her name? Ceballos. About. Do you remember she was talking about Arsenal and Tottenham, and Tottenham were 3 games in the top of the league, and she was saying, don't worry about go chat to Brighton, Fulham, and them, man. Guess who she's chatting to now?
Like, comment, subscribe,
And share.
and share that shit with your boys, man.
Yeah, man.